Good morning. It's a pleasure for me to present Genethon to you today. Genethon is probably one of the longest-standing companies, organizations in the field of gene therapy. I guess Genethon was doing gene therapy at a time where most of the folks in this room were not interested in gene therapy. We started gene therapy in 1997, basically, at a time where industry had lost hopes in gene therapy, at a time where investors were not interested in gene therapy. And it took some time, up to 2010, 2011, to see a revival in the interest. But in the meantime, a few organizations, in particular Genethon, had worked in order to develop the field, and to develop the field specifically for rare genetic diseases. And what I'm going to tell you about is where we are today, tell you about our portfolio of products in the clinic. We have today 8 products in the clinic stemming out of our research, which I'll tell you about. And I'll tell you about our partners and our perspectives. Now, how come Genethon could be so how should I manage this? Here. Okay. How could Genethon invest for such a long time in a field where no financial investor was interested? In fact, Genethon was initially created and was created by a patient organization, the French Muscular Dystrophy Association, the AFM-Telethon, which organizes the yearly telethon in France, which raises, depending on years, I mean, the maximum has been up to 105 million euros on a yearly basis. Last year was rather in the 85 million euros. But this money has been used since 1987 to invest massively into biotherapies for rare diseases, namely gene and cell therapy. The AFM itself had been started in 1958 by 9 families of parents of kids affected with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, who would gather in the office of the same doctor, probably the only doctor in France who would know what Duchenne muscular dystrophy was at that time. And really it was thanks to the will of this association, of the parents who still lead this association, that gene therapy could be so well financed in France during those years where financing was difficult. So AFM has dedicated approximately 1.3 billion euros to R&D for rare genetic disease since 1987. It funds as associations, as patient groups would do international networks of academic research groups, but also it has created its own research platforms and production platforms as well. So starting from the left, Genethon, involved in gene therapy for rare disease, and I'll go into details in a second. It also created iStem, a dedicated laboratory for stem cell research and development, stem cell being ES and IPS. It created the Institute of Myology, dedicated to research on the muscle and clinical trials for muscular indications. And it created, most recently, Iposcasi as an industrial platform for gene therapy, which is in fact a CDMO, so a newcomer in the field of the CDMOs, created in 2016, but really relying on a long-term experience that was created at Genethon. Now, Genethon, if you had to categorize Genethon, you could say that it is a not-profit biotech organization that goes from R&D, goes to research to clinical proof of concept. We have 8 products stemming out of our research, which are today in clinical trial. We do not sponsor ourselves all of these clinical trials. Some of these we do sponsor. Others are developed by partners or licensees. We have partnerships with major international players. We started, in fact, in 1990 by participating to the deciphering of the human genome, and the first high-resolution maps of the human genome were discovered at Genethon. Our therapeutic areas are neuromuscular diseases, immune deficiencies, blood diseases, liver disease. I'll tell you more. We have a staff of 200. And as I said, we have started a CDMO in 2016, Hyposchesi. In fact, we've been involved in biomanufacturing since 2006. And there's questions to know whether we have released the first lentivirus batch in Europe or the second lentivirus batch in Europe, but clearly we were there early on. Now, our approach to gene therapy is really multifaceted. There's first the product design and development part. We have 90 people involved in different therapeutic areas in designing therapeutic strategies and designing the appropriate vector construct for each indications we're addressing. The second important point is really innovation for vector production. We are in a field where technology is really one of the cores of success. You could do anything you want. You could treat mice easily. You could even treat dogs sometimes easily. But if you want to go to man, and this was taken very early on seriously by Genethon, you have to be innovative on whatever relates to bioprocess, to bioproduction. You have to come up with technologies which are not those technologies which are traditionally taken from academic world, and bring them to a level where they are productive enough. And it's both production and QC. I want to insist on that, and most particularly for liver and muscular disease, the quantities of AV you need are so high that the production methods have to be very productive here. And we have a group of approximately 40 scientists which are involved in process development and innovation for technology. Then there's the regulatory innovation, up to the point that the regulators can be innovative, but we're in the field of rare disease and gene therapy where the discussions with the regulators are important. It's a mutually educational process that we have here, and I think we have one of the best groups out there in Europe for designing clinical trials and discussing with the regulators on pushing those products into the clinic. And then there's biomanufacturing, which we spun out into Hyposchesi, which is also important. If you don't have biomanufacturing, is strategic to the development of products, and it is a critical asset to have. Now, let me take you through our pipeline. There's 20 projects out there. I could spend 15 minutes on each of the projects, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to highlight some of the elements. So in the neuromuscular field, this is our pipeline. So just let me focus a bit on the Zorgon Sma, which is now a Novartis product, which has been an AveXis product. In fact, this product was initially designed and patented by Genethon, 2007. The product, our patent covers both the product and the mode of administration, and it was licensed to AveXis before AveXis was purchased by Novartis, and we're very proud to see this technology that was initially developed by Martin Barkat in our laboratory to now become a drug on the verge of registration, both in the United States, Europe, and Japan. Then there's a myotubular myopathy program, which is the lead asset at Audentes. I don't know if you guys have been attending the Audentes presentation yesterday, but if you have seen the very spectacular results in 7 patients treated with this product that was designed and preclinically developed at Genethon by Anna Bushbello. Then we have a Duchenne muscular dystrophy program at preclinical stage, partnered with Sarepta. And we have several programs, backup programs for spinal muscular atrophy, backup programs for Duchenne. We have also limb-girdle muscular dystrophy programs, which are close to getting into the clinic. And we think that amongst these limb-girdle muscular dystrophy programs, several of them will get into clinical trials in the next 3 years. Now we have programs in the field of liver disease. We have a well-advanced Crigler-Najjar program, which entered the clinic last year. Enrollment is going on. We're very excited about the advancement of this program, which we think is a very interesting program, not only for Crigler-Najjar, which is a rare disease, but also for what it teaches us for other indications. And at that occasion also, we are developing strategies in order to bypass, overcome immune reaction. And we have a very strong portfolio of technologies. And we published some of the results last year, showing that under certain circumstances, you could re-inject an AAV product for liver indications to a non-human primate. We have a Pompe disease program, which was licensed to Spark. We have a Cori disease program, which is still at the research stage. In the immune blood field, we have a CGD program that was licensed to Orchard. We have a Wisconsin program. We have a Fanconi anemia program that we partnered with CMAT. We have a NextKid program, an RSKid, a sickle cell anemia program that should enter the clinic this year with an undisclosed partner. And finally, we have been strongly involved with the development of Leber's optic neuropathy program that was licensed to GeneSight. Now, this is another way of looking at it. These are some of the major partnership and license deals that we've made, and you have here the name of these very important and very professional companies to which we license some of our technologies. Now, one of the engines of our research is the fact that we have an embedded INSERM unit. So INSERM is the French academic health system, health research system institute. We have an embedded INSERM research unit with leaders in the field of both neuromuscular disease, immune and blood disorders, liver diseases. And this is an important part of the progress we are able to make and we were able to make during all these years. We also have an important investment in technology innovation. We want to develop innovative approaches for increase in productivity, for decrease in costs, improvement of analytical methods, and we have developed a strong portfolio of technologies and patents in that field. Just want to share with you some figures so you can understand why we are so heavily investing in this. We are often told, well, that there's gene therapy is not the first field where you have to produce vaccines. But when you look at vaccines, keep in mind that a dose for vaccines is approximately 10 to the 6 viral particles. For Leber's congenital amaurosis, we are in the 10 to the 11 particles per patient. For Duchenne, we come to 10 to the 15 to 10 to the 16 VG for patient. And if you look with the existing classical methods, there wouldn't be enough capacity basically worldwide to serve the whole Duchenne muscular dystrophy market if one of the products which is currently under development would get to the market. With the existing technology, you would have to build much more capacity than exists today. Same thing for sickle cell disorder. One batch using classical adherent lentivirus allows for the treatment of a few patients, but we're talking here about needs for several thousands of patients per year. And clearly the methods, the technologies have to be improved in order to serve these specific needs. And remember here that we're talking about rare disease only. We're not talking about frequent disorders. We're talking about, probably the range of rare diseases that are most frequent, but still talking only about rare diseases. Now, in order to move into industrialization, we have been involved in biomanufacturing since 2006, and we created Iposkesi as a subsidiary in 2016. Iposkesi, which is a CDMO, which works for both US and EU customer, both for biotechs and large pharmaceutical companies. The footprint today is 5,000 square meter, 50,000 square feet. We will double the footprint by 2021. We use AAV and suspension, for AAV and lenti, both suspension and adherent methods, both based on in-house developed process or process that are transferred by clients. We do fill and finish, we do internal QC, and the capacity right now with the 4 independent suites is 35 batches per year. And we do mostly clinical batches, but in 2020 we will start producing batches for commercial needs. This is just to give you a view on the suites from the inside. So you see large suites equipped with the cutting-edge technology, disposable technology, of course, and this is a view on some of our bioreactors. Having said this, I want to thank you for your attention.